All right, let's bring in the Hall of Famer. 17 NFL years, 14-time Pro Bowler.
Enjoy.
By the way, speaking of cultures, only missed 2 NFL seasons. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
You were in the hotel room, the Marriott, probably, and they called you.
Yep.
And some guy called you, and he said, Tony, I got some news for you. And did you cry?
Well, that's not. Actually, you get a knock. And 6'9", 350 pounds, whatever he is, Mr. Baker, who's the president of the Hall of Fame, the face of the Hall of Fame, he comes by and he gives you the handshake. He tells you in person. You don't want a phone call. If you get a phone call, that means you didn't make it. You want him to come to your room. But I loved it, man. It was like a culmination of your whole career coming together. You start thinking back to Pop Warner, high school, college. And I knew I had a pretty decent shot of making it. But when you see him, like your heart just drops. And he gives you a spiel, and I turn around and I see my family there. I see some tears in my family members' eyes. My cousin was crying. My good friends were crying. Then I started getting a little emotional. It was just a great experience. And then we popped a couple Modelos and it celebrated.
You know,
it was good.
What's great about your story, too, is people look at you, big, strong, handsome guy, but you were awful as a Pop Warner player initially.
Yeah.
You had a really tough first year in the NFL. There was a time that people thought you were a basketball guy over a football guy. Your path was not linear.
Yeah.
It had a bunch of bumps.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's the cool thing, too. The next day, they have orientation. Well, the 2 days, they have 2 days later, they have the orientation. And they had each guy get up and speak and do an impromptu speech. Caught all the guys in the class off guard. But they start telling some brief stories about what they went through. And everybody has that same story. I think adversity is the best thing that ever happened to you, actually. You want some adversity because that's where you learn the most. That's where you have to make the decision. Am I going to go this way or that way? And all those guys in the Hall of Fame obviously chose to go that way. So I was fortunate about it.
I've said this. I love basketball practice. I loved baseball practice. Football practice I didn't like. It's hard. The sport shapes you. You're clay, and it molds you. You're going to play hurt. You're going to lose teammates. You're going to lose games. There is no, basketball tends to be the elevate. Zion Williamson's a great high schooler. Then he goes to Duke. Then he's the #1 pick. And he doesn't face real, like basketball struggles till the first team, the bad team he's on, right? Yeah. Like a Knicks or something like that. But football is, even if you're a great high school player, Nick Saban says, sit in the bench in red shirt.
Yeah.
And you just watch people for 3 years as you go to these hard practices. Football is a shaper of people.
Yes, and it's the best teacher of how to get along. When you're in that locker room, you're with guys from Alabama, you're with guys from Canada, you're with guys from all over, from Southern California, laid-back California, grew up surfing, stuff like that. All these different cultures coming together for a common goal. And then it is tough. I played basketball at a pretty high level, too. It's nothing compared to what you go through in football. It is just a gladiator sport. It's the true gladiator sport of what we have in America.
So the Patriots have 2 Pro Bowlers and 1 All-Pro, and they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I got to be honest. Now, I did like them in this game because of the experience factor. And after I saw what they did to the Chargers, I was kind of in awe of it. But I got to be honest with you. It's almost like the Patriots are telling the league, not about stars. Get your quarterback, get your coach, stay with them, keep your offensive coordinator, continuity. They're almost going off-brand.
Yeah.
I mean, I just sat there Sunday and I'm like, this is ugly. And I felt early, I'm like, they're going to win this game.
Yeah.
They're not scoring, but they're moving, they're under. It felt like to me early, no score, I felt. Now, when you watched it, what did you feel?
Yeah, you just knew that they were going to win.
I felt it early.
First quarter, you're like, they're going to win this game. It's going to be close or whatever it is. Because eventually something's going to crack and Tom's going to figure it out. He didn't play the greatest game. But I do agree with you. It shows that good players win games more than just a bunch of stars. Maybe you got 2 or 3 stars on a team, and this is most NFL football teams. They got 2 or 3 really, really good players and then a bunch of average players, like average guys, where the Patriots, they have just a bunch of good guys. And I started thinking about them and what makes them work, especially because the consistency is there. And I'm looking at all the players that they've had and looking at their team this year. You got Hightower, good player. Vanoy, good player. Stephen Gilmore, really good. Like obviously,
their offensive line, by the way, Shaq Mason, David, these are good. If you go to Pro Football Focus, they're all top 5 in their position. Not
superstar, not max players, and like Stephen Gilmore. I look at him, who's an All-Pro this year.
Great.
Do you think he's going to get maxed out? Do you think he's going to get that unbelievable contract with the Patriots?
No.
He's going to have to go to free agency because they don't want that, because that doesn't win. Doesn't win games, and it starts with the quarterback, Tom Brady, who's one of the greatest of all time, and he takes less money because he wants to win games. And Belichick would not be the same without Tom as the guy who puts it over the top.
Right.
They're going to be a good football team no matter what.
Right.
Belichick will win 10 games a year, 8, 9 games a year, but then you throw Tom in the mix, it puts them over the top. Same thing if you took Belichick off that team. I don't think Tom Brady wouldn't have won all these medals.
Do you think less of McVay and the Rams after the loss?
No, I think it was his first time there. I do believe, I was watching the game and I'm looking at golf, and people were, he took a little bit of slack in the game, but there was nobody open. I mean, McVay, and he said it after the game. I'm just telling you what he said. He said he got out coached, and I would say I agree with you, McVay. You did a hell of a job, obviously, but Belichick is the master. There was nowhere to go. They were running all these stunts, all these. There was nobody open. It was nobody open.
No, it was the first time in 2 years watching the Rams. Remember, the Rams averaged 32 points, right? They never got into the red zone. It was the first time watching the Rams where their offensive line was completely manhandled.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. I mean, they lose games, but they're not manhandled. The Patriots, stunts, they did 50% blitzes. You could not run. Gurley had one run. It's the first time I looked and I thought, oh, my God, the Ram thing isn't working at all.
One working.
At all. And by the way, the Patriot thing wasn't working either, but as the story has been told, Josh McDaniels came up in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you've heard this. Peter King found this out. So 9 minutes to go in the game, Josh McDaniels went to the sideline and said, guys, we're throwing out the game plan. Nothing's working. We're going to go empty backfield, Mike Devlin, fullback, Burkhead, and we're going to run the same basic plays 4 or 5 times. That was the winning drive. It's the only drive that worked all day.
Yeah.
Dwayne Allen came out later. We have a quote here and said, Josh told us we didn't practice this at all, but nothing's working. And I look at that and I think to myself, rookie Tony Gonzalez couldn't have done that. 8-year veteran Tony in Atlanta could have. There is something to be said about the collective IQ of the Patriots. Oh. They literally added 8 plays in Kansas City in the hotel, the Westin, that morning. Yeah. You can't do that to a bunch of kids.
Can't do it.
You can't go. Have you ever been in a game on the sideline and you scrapped everything and made stuff up? Have you ever been in that situation?
Hardly ever. We can do it, but you have to have the veteran guys that are able to do that, guys that have played together. That right there, I think, sums it up. Good, smart people win collectively. That's what wins in the NFL. That's how you're going to win those games.
Yeah, here's the story. When they played the Chiefs at 11 in the morning, they put in 8 new plays that were installed before the game, which is just unheard of. And by the way, 5 worked.
And you know what it is? It's also Tom Brady. I mean, he's the master, along with the other GOATs out there. He's just. I love the New England Patriots organization. When I do talks now, I'm talking about them. This is how you get it done in the NFL, and I hope a lot of other teams take a page out of this book. I hope my Chiefs take a page out of this book.
Well, your Chiefs will be there. Your Chiefs are fine.
And by the way, can I say something about the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? I just want to tell them thank you, and the Atlanta Falcons, thank you for all the support that I've ever had. Had a great career in both those places, and it means a lot to be able to put on that Chiefs uniform, to be able to put on that Falcon uniform, and being in the Hall of Fame. I just want to. I'm really proud to be able to know that I played for 2 great organizations.
When do you start writing that speech?
I don't know. You gonna help me out?
No.
No.
No. This has to be from your heart. You're very emotional.
Yeah.
So I told you before, if you don't cry, I'll be a little disappointed because you go deep. You are very much about family, your journey, and a lot of guys aren't. You are very much about your journey.
Well, I promise you this: I'm not gonna hold back. It'll be a good one.
Really?
It'll be a good one. No, I'm not gonna hold back. There's no way. If I feel it coming up. Just like right now, a couple minutes ago, I felt a little emotional. Like I probably could have, if I could have kept going, I probably would have cried. But
really,
but I'm going to hold it back.
I could have made. Oh my God, I really failed as a
You
journalist.
want me to cry on this show?
How did you not sense that?
You could tell.
You sense he was going to cry?
Yes, I do. It was moments away.
Really?
Yes.
Let's go back to it, Tony.
And from the top, all right, everybody. Places.
Tony, you were 8 years old. I really blew it there. I was crappy. Congratulations to a great guy, a Hall of Famer. Good having you on the show, bud.
Thank you.
Tony Gonzalez. Can't wait for the speech. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.